Poker is a game of skill and strong nerves, and more than often, the players have to show complete control over every emotion. What happens if a player doesn't exert that control? Things end badly on the poker table and often cause trouble for the players involved. One of these circumstances when the players lost control is the fight that broke out between Phil Hellmuth and Sam Grizzle in the 2003 poker match. The two players were always seated next to each other at the table, frequently verbally cursing and harassing one another. They were probably best known for their rivalry. In the years preceding the poker boom, the two allegedly got into a brawl. Philip Jerome Hellmuth Jr., an American professional poker player, was born in Madison, Wisconsin in 1964. He left the University of Wisconsin to pursue full-time poker. Hellmuth holds the record for the most World Series of Poker bracelets. He also won the main event of the 1989 World Series of Poker and the 2012 World Series of Poker Europe, earning him entry into the WSOP's Poker Hall of Fame. It's not hard to imagine other players clashing with the poker brat. The number of people who have met Phil at some point in their careers is vast. But the Hellmuth conflict that took things to the next level was his battle with Sam Grizzle, a name that will be familiar to veteran poker fans but less so to newer players. Grizzle was an old-school hustler who made and lost money faster than most people could blink. His poker abilities were good enough to win over $1 million in career tournament prizes. But keeping that money was a different issue for this Las Vegas gambler. When Grizzle and Hellmuth joined a table, it was expected to be trash-talking and poking needles, yet behind the cameras were grins and a common dislike for things. If glances could kill, in unguarded moments, both players would be killed by each other's stares. The disagreement between Grizzle and Hellmuth stemmed from something that no one believed at first. It happened because Hellmuth was unable to cover Grizzle's seat at the table. It enraged him, so he asked Hellmuth to meet him in the casino parking lot in Las Vegas. The duel ended as fast as it started, with Grizzle landing a single punch on the much taller Hellmuth, indicating that the street-savvy hustler had far more of an edge away from the tables, knocking the poker brat on his ass. While many people wonder how the poker brat gets away with his rants without being attacked, Grizzle punched him once in the parking lot, resulting in a black eye and a bloodied nose. Grizzle's sharp tongue and tendency to pull no punches had an impact on numerous other players throughout the years. Although the conflicts between Grizzle and Hellmuth were amusing and always ended with a chuckle, they were what is known as frenemies in the internet world. The resulting fistfight revealed to the world that height is irrelevant. What matters is how you act at the time. Despite the fact that the blow hit Hellmuth like a brick, he was not seriously injured. Hellmuth was significantly bigger than Grizzle, but Grizzle won the fistfight. Best fight ever because no one was hurt, Hellmuth told the journalist, despite the fact that he lost. It demonstrates that their antagonism wasn't serious, except the peculiar drama at the poker tables. ESPN uncovered the Grizzle-Hellmuth conflict during a live broadcast of the 2003 World Series of Poker main event, which was held at the former Binion's Horseshoe in downtown Las Vegas. Sam decked Phil. You gotta like Sam's chances in any fistfight, Norman Chad said on the show. For many poker aficionados who are acquainted with the game during the online poker explosion at the turn of the century, the 2003 WSOP was one of those watershed moments that captivated players. Grizzle was part of 441 Productions' innovative approach to conveying the story of the world's largest poker game. Losing control over little things often generates serious fights, but thankfully this fight didn't end up causing serious harm to either of the players. Another such instance was when a poker player got punched by a dealer. This one is about Sammy Farha. Sammy Farha, a professional poker player, realized he had the skills to become a millionaire quickly. He spent several years playing cash games and private games before earning his first gold bracelet in 1996 at the World Series of Poker. Farha almost won a bracelet again in 2002, but it was the 2003 World Series of Poker that put him on the poker map. The $10,000 WSOP main event was traditionally won by a large number of poker professionals, but Phil Ivey, Dan Harrington, and Sammy Farha remained in the game. Chris Moneymaker, an unassuming accountant, eliminated Phil Ivey in 10th place. Sammy was left to compete against Chris for the gold bracelet and the honor of becoming world champion. Despite his dominating skills, Chris won the heads-up match and became the most well-known poker player at the time. Moneymaker's victory sparked the poker boom, attracting thousands of new players and causing an explosion of online poker. Despite losing over $1 million by losing that match, most poker players believed he won them all millions in the long run. The three-time WSOP bracelet winner got into an incident at Houston's Legends poker room. The confrontation began with angry remarks between Farha and another player, Amjad or MJ, who allegedly slapped Farha in the face. Both people were swiftly ejected from the venue. Amjad had a previous bad relationship with Farha, having worked as a dealer at Johnny Chan's 88 social poker room across the street from Legends. Farha reported that Amjad was dismissed from the now defunct 88 social for a prior incident, but was supposedly and swiftly rehired at another neighborhood poker room. Farha expressed his displeasure with Amjad's presence at the Legends Club, citing their previous argument at 88 social. The two men then exchanged angry remarks and Amjad seemed to slap Farha. A GoFundMe campaign was set up to help with potential legal defense costs if Farha escalates the situation. A handful of commentators claim that Farha would try to seek a legal settlement from Legends over the event, but this is doubtful given that Amjad is another player and not a club employee. The actual reality is unknown because there's no evidence to back up either side of the story. But we do know that assaulting a 63-year-old man is unacceptable behavior. The incident has shined a bright light on Farha, who, despite his early poker success, has fallen on hard feet and has become one of the most despised players in the Houston poker scene. Poker is a complex game that requires a clear understanding of what you can and can't control. You have no control over what cards you're dealt, what opponents are dealt, or what cards come on the board. It's essential to let go of distractions such as clothing, words, and images that have no bearing on the game. In poker, you have control over yourself, including actions, words, thoughts, and emotions. You can control where you sit, move, when you take breaks, what you eat, and whether to consume alcohol. You can't control whether another player is a jerk, but you have 100% control over how you respond. You can control where to play, what games and stakes to play, and when to leave, especially in cash games. In any individual hand, you have full and exclusive control over whether you play it at all and how you make every decision as the hand progresses. You'll never be as excellent a poker player as you could be if you continue to have incorrect beliefs about what you do and don't control in the game. If you have a problem there, it must be your top priority for correction. How could these two fights have been prevented if these poker players showed control? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel before you leave.